Good morning, friends. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Franklin and the mountains of Western North Carolina and Northeast Georgia. We're a lay-led congregation of progressive minds and caring connections, where all who come with open minds and kind hearts are welcome. Our welcome words this morning are from Melissa Harris Perry. We are the certain and the seeking, the lifers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted, the insiders and the rejected, all of whom have found a home in the extraordinary yet intimate communities of Unitarian Universalism. My name is Mary Teslow, and I'm pleased to be your service leader today. I'm joined this morning by Annette Watlington as our Zoom stage manager and Jude Lowery coordinating our music. The Zoom chat box is available for announcements or other comments, and those who prefer to focus on the service can close that now and catch up later. Our church-related announcements, we have one, Laura Lovelace will be hosting again a ladies' lunch on Zoom on Tuesday, February 22nd. So you can be in touch, women can be in touch with her, and it'll also be in the UU View. Do we have any other announcements, Annette?
Go right ahead, Becky.
Okay, there's a board meeting today at 1 o'clock on Zoom at this channel. So everybody's welcome to come by. And we're going to charge, it's called charging the nominating committee to begin to talk with everyone about taking on some leadership roles for the fellowship. And we may be small, but we have heart, and we've been really good. We've had really good success in getting people to our positions. So when committee members talk to you, please listen, and they will listen as well with you. And let's hope we can get some matches. Thank you.
Today's a perfect day to celebrate heart. That's for sure. Anyone else? All right. Our fellowship is a light for liberal religion in the mountains that values diversity and the richness it brings to our community. Our celebration of diversity is reflected in the variety of our Sunday services, and we hope today's service enriches your journey. Today, we welcome back Friction Farm, Aidan and Christine, with a sermon and song titled A Personal Valentine to Our Public Institutions. Our opening words are from Oliver Wendell Holmes, Jr. This is before his actual quote. One of our public institutions that has dramatically fallen in respect in recent years is the Supreme Court. Our opening words are from Oliver Wendell Holmes, Jr. He was a highly regarded legal scholar and jurist, and one of the most cited, and a Unitarian. He wrote in dissent, "If there is any principle of the Constitution that more imperatively calls for attachment than any other, it is the principle of free thought, not free thought for those who agree with us, but freedom for the thought that we hate." Our chalice lighting. Is by, let's see if I can get it, there we go, by Melody Davis. If ever there were a time for a candle in the darkness, this would be it. Using a spark of hope, kindle the flame of love, ignite the light of peace, and feed the flame of justice. Our opening hymn is 123, Spirit of Life. offering words are from Clara Barton, a Universalist who organized nursing services during the Civil War and was founder of the American Red Cross. The Red Cross is a part of us. It has come to stay like the sturdy oak. Its spreading branches shall yet encompass and shelter the relief of the nation. As Unitarian Universalists, generosity is one of the spiritual values we recognize as central to our personal or our institutional well-being. We honor donations of time, talent, and treasure both to our fellowship and to our larger community. Our offertory this morning is Schubert's Trio, Opus 127, with our friend Sarah Harkins on the piano. We're grateful to Sarah for sharing that with us. The dedication of our gifts given in love and hope, continue a cycle of love and hope. So may it be. This morning, we're delighted to welcome back our friends Aidan, Quinn, and Christine Stay. Modern folk duo Friction Farm is a husband and wife team of internationally traveling troubadours. They combine storytelling, social commentary, and humor to create songs of everyday life, local heroes, and quirky observations. From ballads to anthems, each song is filled with harmony and hope. The title of their sermon and song this morning is A Personal Valentine to Our Public Institutions. Welcome back, Aidan and Christine.
Thank you. We're thrilled to be here. And thank you all for showing up. Happy Valentine's Day, a day early. Now, I know this is sort of a Hallmark sort of holiday, but still, this morning I'm going to offer you some virtual candy hearts. Are you ready to celebrate? In addition to Valentine's Day, President's Day falls in mid-February. And for me, those two celebrations are just so different. And while I respect many of our presidents and recognize their contributions, I don't associate them at all with love. And that's kind of sad. It brings to mind a quote from Tolstoy, which I've been fascinated by for a long time. The recognition that love represents the highest morality was nowhere denied or contradicted. But this truth was so interwoven everywhere with all kinds of falsehoods which distorted it, that finally nothing of it remained but words. It was taught that this highest morality was only applicable to private life, for home use, as it were, but that in public life, all forms of violence, imprisonment, executions, and wars might be used for the protection of the majority against a minority of evildoers, even though such means were diametrically opposed to any vestige of love. So Tolstoy was talking about nonviolence as a response to evil, of love as a response to tyranny and wrongdoing, not unlike Martin Luther King Jr.'s quote, "Hate not that hate, only love can." Which is great, except that historically, a small group of men got to decide who was subjected to violence and for what benefit that violence might be justified. Even in so many of our religious texts, the gods themselves visit violence upon evil while simultaneously espousing love. Now, logically, those upon whom violence is visited can be expected to feel justified in using violence for their own protection, right? That becomes a setup for perpetual conflict. And we know that a perpetual conflict provides a business and political model that is self-sustaining. So how are we supposed to love our way out of that? The contradiction is so ingrained in us that we embrace love as a virtue while still accepting the need to enslave, torture, even kill each other because we're fearful, we need stuff. And meanwhile, money and power are retained by perpetuating those evil acts. And we're supposed to fix all that with love? On a personal level, I feel like we can all see love as an answer. But on a wider level, how exactly would that work? I mean, of course, if we as individuals are loving in our behavior, that has some overreaching effects. But really, is that enough? And that brings me to the first candy heart. Science. I know that might not seem like candy to all of you, but I promise you it's going to be very sweet. In 2020, a group of researchers analyzed the combined results of 88 different experimental studies that included 25,000 participants. And the studies looked at how our own altruism is affected after witnessing someone else acting kindly. So, for example, if we see somebody comforting another person who's distressed or donating to charity, what does that do for us? And in the studies, people would read about or see someone acting in a kind and helpful way and then have the opportunity to be kind and generous themselves. And it turns out that witnessing love or kindness had a measurable positive effect. People just resonate with the underlying reason for doing good, and they become motivated to spread that goodness. And the witnessing could be seen in person or read about or on a video. And these 88 studies, every one of them, suggested that people are just kind and positively social by nature and just waiting for some inspiration to act. Within this study, there were three things that really struck me as opportunities to build on our better nature, which brings me to a second candy heart. Tools. Love is a broad umbrella, but we need specifics, the specific tool, the right tool for the job. And Through this study, they identified 3 things. The first was that as more time passed after witnessing altruism, our impetus to give and to copy that behavior declined. So the right tool for that job is constancy. We have to keep doing acts of love. Make it important, schedule it, make it visible. Second, women were more likely to pay it forward than men. And so the tool for this job is women in positions of leadership, CEOs, CFOs, public office. Getting women into those roles has to be a priority. And third, the type of response mattered. If witnesses saw kind people being praised or rewarded, they were more likely to be altruistic themselves rather than seeing any shaming or denouncing of an unkind act. So the right tool for that is amplification of goodness. If we want altruism to spread, we need to praise those who are doing good, amplify their actions. And you know, the news, it's inherently negative. And we have a tendency to glom onto and share the bad news, but there's good news out there for us to share too. I bet my mother never thought my daughter would still fight to speak her mind, to have a say in her own civil rights. But when men declare her voice categorically dismissed, there will always be women who persist. There will always be women who persist. There will always be women who persist. My forefathers came by ship, together with their clan. Architects of their own dreams was this part of the plan. For every thug who guards the gates with a raised, clenched fist, there will always be men who coexist. There will always be men who coexist. There will always be men who coexist. One misguided spark falls on tinder to ignite a raging fire growing much too big to fight. Malicious mobs may tattoo numbers on the wrists, but there will always be angels in our midst. There will always be angels in our midst. There will always be angels in our midst. Be a woman who persists, be a man who coexists. Be an angel, be an angel, be an angel in our midst. There will always be there will always be, 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 there will always be angels in our midst. Along those lines of amplifying the good, I share with you Candy Heart number 3, Evidence of Hope. Science is awesome, but a lab test of small acts of goodness isn't exactly the same thing as changing industry, education, or government. Is there real-world evidence of the effect of love in action? Yes. So the directors of UNICEF said that more than any other scientific evidence or public health argument, it was the appeal to their human feelings of love and compassion that motivated world leaders to support the global movement for child survival and development. If we send the right message of love, we can affect global policy. And we can send those messages to our corporate leaders as well. By making better consumer choices, we can support businesses that have loving policies on worker safety. We can shop at stores that pay a living wage. So, a couple of years ago, without any government mandate, Target stores increased their hourly minimum wage to $15 an hour. And I'm not promoting Target. I'm just using them as an example of successful consumer influence. So Target started this in 2017, and they announced that by the end of 2020, all of their employees would make at least $15 an hour. And consumers really responded to that. They showed up and supported the store. And because of that, according to Target, because of that, they hit that mark 6 months ahead of schedule. So rather than boycotting stores that are unkind to their employees, we can buy in to a living wage, to better working conditions. We can respond in love, and it works. After the last presidential elections, there was a coalition of various progressive groups that met to discuss how to combat the election protests. And they were planning on how to defend against groups who claimed that the vote was stolen. And what the consensus of that group decided was that they weren't going to counter-protest. And you might have noticed that there weren't any protests, and that was by design. When the Proud Boys decided to have a rally in Philadelphia, the progressives organized a dance party celebration. They didn't counter-protest. No yelling, no signs. In a lot of the swing states, there were many, many celebratory events, especially when they heard about angry mobs. They responded with love intentionally, and by their accounts, that grew a stronger community and brought people to their ranks. All of those things are great news, but can we infuse love into lawmaking here? Consider our DUI laws. So if you're my age or older, we're kind of lucky to be alive, aren't we? Remember how we would all go out and have a couple of drinks and then drive home? We would all do that. Miami, on a Saturday night, must have tested the limits of our guardian angel's strength. But now we don't do that anymore. And yes, there are stricter DUI laws in place, but it's because those laws came to reflect our social contract with each other. Mothers Against Drunk Driving led that change with love. Consider their name. These mothers are against drunk driving, not drunk drivers. Just the name demonstrates compassion. They also put a human face on their tragedy, made the losses personal, shared them, rather than shaming a drunk driver. They led a campaign to make it noble to be the designated driver. They made it socially acceptable to admit, you'd probably have a few, so maybe you should take a cab. Being a driver to protect your friends, taking a cab to protect strangers, those are expressions of love. And that became the impetus for the laws, rather than focusing solely on the punishment. But that was way, way back in the 80s. And maybe we're just too far gone now. I am a mother. I have 2 daughters, 9 years old, 5 3/4. I drop them at school. I wave goodbye till they're with their friends and their teachers safe inside. Downtown there's traffic, we're all moving slow. I catch the news on public radio. Hold my breath and release. Not our town, not their school. And then I weep for the parents who just learned that this life is cruel. Calling one man a hero for what he has done. Put his own body between a child and a loaded gun. The girls are in bed now. I watch the evening news. There's no talk of mothers or children, just 2 sides in a fight we all lose. Calling one man a traitor for what he has done. Tried to put a law between a child and a loaded gun. I am a mother. I have 2 daughters, 9 years old, 5 3/4. Well, the last candy heart I have to offer you is really an invitation. Our love is needed in so many areas. There are still children at our borders who've been traumatized by their ordeal. Climate change is at a precarious tipping point. Black people are still being killed at the hands of police. There are folks around us that are at the end of their economic rope. It's all too much, and it's just so easy to complain and blame. And I have to admit that some of us have gotten a bit addicted to the drama and the conflict. And some of us want not just accountability and responsibility, but a little bit of revenge and retribution. And we're still a bit angry and hurting about the way things have gone in the world, and maybe we're grieving. Can we start to respond in love? I am inviting you to try. Got a little work to do around my house. Dust bunnies in the corner, big enough to scare a real mouse. Nothing's gonna get clean around here if I don't do my part. I got a little work to do. Guess I better start. I got work to do. Guess I better start. I got work to do. Guess I better start. Got a little work to do around my yard. Weeds growing everywhere make tomatoes work too hard. Nothing good will ever grow around here if I don't do my part. Got a little work to do. Guess I better start. I got work to do. Guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. Got a little work to do around my town. Cracks in public buildings might bring this whole thing down. Nothing's gonna get fixed around here if I don't do my part. I got a little work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. I got work to do. I guess I better start. Never thought I'd met her much, with just two small hands and a personal touch. Then I looked around, for goodness sake. One more little push might be all it takes. We got a little work to do around this place. You and me together might be all it takes. We can set things right round here if we do our part. We got a little work to do. I guess we better start. We got work to do. I guess we better start. We got work to do. I guess we better start. I got work to do. Guess I better start. And you got work to do. Guess you better start. We got work to do. We've got work to do. We've got work to do. Science says we can do this. It points to effective tools of change, and there is historical evidence of success to give us hope. Can we respond in love? I'm inviting you to try. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you.
Oh, Aidan and Christine, what a wonderful message and what a wonderful gift for Valentine's Day and every day. Thank you so, so much. There'll be time and opportunity for discussion during conversation time later in our gathering. The tune for our closing hymn was named Olympia, after Olympia Brown, the first woman to graduate from an established theological school and the first to be fully ordained with official approval from a national denomination in America, the Universalist Church. Like many before her and many since, she was warned, an explanation was given, and nevertheless, she persisted. The hymn is 131, Love Will Guide Us.
Has trod us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from creed to king. Love will guide us through the hot night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us. Peace has tried us. Hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hot night.
Our closing words are from Maya Angelou. Have enough courage to trust love one more time, and always one more time. Extinguishing the chalice. Our words, there we go. Our words are from Vanessa Williams. Like the flame of the chalice, may the flame in our hearts burn, remaining unextinguished. May it ignite our love, our energies, and our resolve to dream, to build, and to live into the world that good which exists for now only in our imagination. When we are together, we circle our round sanctuary and join hands in our closing circle and recite our covenant. For now, we will join together in spirit as we recite our covenant together. Love is the spirit of our fellowship, and community is its goal. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. So may it be. We now finish our recording and pause to move to joys and concerns and community conversation time.